Hi there to my fellow RSD warriors. How are you? I haven't checked in with you in a while. This is Carrie from down in Texas. Wanted to say hello and see how you were doing on this middle of the month of November 2023. How are you feeling? What's going on in your world? I needed to share an update with you, and I am really looking for some feedback from you guys. What year am I in? I've lost track. I was diagnosed in 2006. Had my first implant in 2007. And tomorrow, I'm actually having my fourth machine. My fourth pain pump is being replaced and implanted tomorrow. And I'm really curious for some feedback from my fellow warriors who actually do have a pain pump implant that controls your pain. Mine, I couldn't live without my implant. There's just no way. I tried, and I couldn't do it. And I was in a really, really, really bad space. And luckily for me, I had a doctor that realized that I was in trouble because I was on morphine and I wasn't functioning. I wasn't living, I was surviving, and he saw it and got me the help that I needed, and then worked with me and my insurance company to get me approved for an implant. And I am incredibly grateful to that doctor to this day. He implanted that in August of 2007. That's a long time ago, 17 years ago. And I don't know where I'd be without that help. I may not be here. This is a really tough disease, as we all know, and it can overtake your life pretty quickly, especially if you don't have a good support mechanism with your family and your care. I hear so many times in my meetings and talking with people that they didn't get the care for a really long time, and as you all know, this disease has a very high suicide rate because people are left without hope and help and understanding what is happening. It is a very complex, difficult disease to diagnose, and then it is a difficult disease to get a good treatment plan. For me, I was incredibly blessed that I had a leading RSD specialist at the time when I lived in Arizona, and he knew instantaneously when I finally got to him after 4 or 5 other specialists. He knew instantaneously what it was, and for me, he got me on the right track and gave me my life back. Without question, he gave me my life back. So I'm wondering how many people that are suffering with this terrible disease have a similar story to me. And if you have a similar story and you are living your life every day with a pain pump implanted into your body, what has your experience been like? What have you gained? What have you struggled with? What do you still struggle with? For me, one of the most difficult parts of my journey has been the fact that I have opioids that are in this implant, Dilaudid, one of the strongest medications around. Luckily for me, I'm on a small dosage, but the side effects from that medication was over 100 pounds of weight gain in that 15 years. 2 years ago, I made the decision to have weight loss surgery because my weight was going to kill me. It caused all sorts of other problems, and my weight gain was a direct result of opioids, and that's documented. It happens to a lot of people, and it causes complications. This disease can cause complications in other ways because of the treatment and the way that we have to treat it, and I'm a prime example of that. I packed on over 100 pounds in 15 years. and it caused high blood pressure and all sorts of underlying problems that was going to eventually kill me, and I knew that. 2 years ago, I made the decision to have bariatric weight loss surgery, and I've lost over 130 pounds. But it's been a journey, and it's still a journey. I am having my pump replaced now because it's right at that crucial point. Next year it will be 7 years. This is the longest I've had any of my implants. The first two crapped out at 5 years, and I had to have them replaced. The third one, this one, has lasted the longest. It's almost 7 years. And next year I am planning a trip overseas, and I was very concerned about it stopping while I was overseas. And I didn't want to be put into that position to scramble to get home or have to go find treatment in a foreign country. Now, I'm going to Australia. I realize we could have found probably an emergency situation and found an implant there. But I didn't want to have to worry about that. So we are replacing it about 6 months ahead of schedule because I need to, because I don't want there to be a crisis away from home and not have my insurance to pay for it and not have my support system with my doctor and my clinic that I go to. So number 4 is being implanted tomorrow, and I am unusually nervous about this. I don't really know why. I have complete faith in my doctor. He's a phenomenal doctor, Clayton Barhorst. He's a young doctor that went to Texas A&M, and I was treated by his dad until his dad passed away. Now he's taken over the clinic, and he is young and on the cusp of this disease and his specialty, pain management. So I have absolutely zero concerns about his treatment of me and the way he treats and takes care of me. Without question, he's just a remarkable doctor. But I'm unusually nervous about it. Maybe it's because I've lost so much weight. I'm not sure how my body's going to react. I'm not sure if he's going to have to modify the pocket that my implant sits in. I'm not sure how my recovery is going to be because my body is completely different now. Just have a lot of really big questions, and I don't even know if it's a concern or just a hesitation. It's the unknown, because this is a different, my body is different, and I'm not sure how it's all going to react. But I really am interested with others who are in my situation who've had an implant. How many implants? I would really love to hear back from you. So if you see this video and you're an RSD patient and you have an implanted pain pump, please take a few minutes to watch the whole thing and then respond to me. I really, this is important, and I would really love to get some feedback. So one, how long have you had RSD? If you've had an implant, how long have you had your implant? How many implants have you had? Normally they last 5 to 7 years. So how many have you had? Have you had the complications I had with weight gain? Have you had any other complications? And how is your normal recovery when you have an implant replacement? What do you experience? And finally, I'm on a pretty low dose in my treatment, and I would love to not be able to have this implant. I know that's an unrealistic goal because there is no cure for this, but I'm also curious from all of you who have an implant, where are you on your strength of drugs? Are you at a low dose, a medium dose, or a high dose? I don't need to know specifics. I'm just curious where you are, a low dose, a medium dose, or a high dose, and then how long have you been at that plateau is what I'm trying to get an idea. How many other people are in my particular similar situation? I think it's important too, so the research that's done for this disease can identify different stages of RSD and different stages of recovery depending on what you're using in your treatment plan. Some people use stimulators, some people use implants like me, some people just use oral medication. For me, oral medication was not an option because I felt like a zombie and I didn't want to live like that. I couldn't function on oral pain medication, and I tried desperately not to take it. I have found alternatives to it that are plant-based products that give me pain relief when I have breakthrough pain, which is maybe a couple of times a week. And I'm very grateful for that because it is an all-natural, plant-based product that has no chemicals in it, and that's what I like about it. I don't want to add any other chemicals to my system that I don't absolutely need, because this is on board 24 hours a day and has been for 17 years. I don't know what the long-term studies show. I haven't been able to find that. So if you are on Dilaudid and have a pain pump, have you been able to find any literature or documentation that talks about the long-term effects that Dilaudid causes on your body? I would like to know that too. They didn't know that at the time. There was no research to tell us. And so now I'm 17 years into this, and I would love to know in that time period if we have any research that talks about the long-term effects of, one, the implant, and two, the medication in the implant. I really would love to hear back from you guys. As I said, my surgery is tomorrow. First thing in the morning. I am extremely nervous about it, but it has to be done. There's not an other option. It has to be done. So in that situation, you just cope the best that you can and hope that there's no complications and that the recovery is as easy as the ones before. I live down near the Houston area. I would love to connect with anybody that is close to me too. I don't know of a local support group, but I sure would like to be able to start one. I am concerned. My husband has an injury right now, and I'm seeing some things that concern me for him, that he may have this awful diagnosis. I hope I am wrong, because to have two people, partners, have this would also be interesting. I haven't heard of that. I haven't heard of any, a married couple where both partners have the same thing. So it's not, it's not something you get from each other. We all know that this is an injury-related disease. And so I would just really, really love some feedback. So if you don't mind and have the time, please, again, watch the entire video here, and then please get back to me. I would really, really love your feedback, your comments, and where you are. And then finally, if you're like me and you've had this disease for as long as, a long time, what else can we be doing as patients to help advance research and exposure so this disease is treated differently? There's still doctors today that don't even accept the fact that RSD is a clinical disease. That's appalling. Really. We need to change that. So how do we do that? If you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear that too. Because we are the driving force behind getting the exposure and more research to find out how we do find a cure for this awful, life-stealing disease. This is Carrie from Texas. Have a blessed weekend, everybody. I will post some updates next week once I get past the first couple of days of recovery. And I will be checking social media, so I really do hope to hear from you. This is Carrie. Have a blessed day. Feel good. Talk to you soon.